What if Michael Jordan had quit basketball after he didn't make his high school team? What if Tom Brady had quit football after he was drafted in the disappointing 6th round? What if Mr. Beast had quit YouTube when he had no one watch his first video? What about you? Are you one step away from greatness? Are you about to quit because you're missing that one piece to make it all come together? Hey, it's Dave from Hardcore Self-Help That's Funny. And in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he writes that just a 1% increase in behavior compounded daily over the course of a year using the formula 1.01 to 365 square, or you become 37 times better. You become 37 times better over a year. The problem that most of us is that we expect the curve to look like this. But in reality, most of the time it looks like this. The line is near zero until it reaches a critical breaking point. He calls this gap between what we expect and what really happens, the uncomfortable valley of despair. A lot of people give up before they reach this point. At the same time, doing bad habits, for example, poor eating, drugs, smoking, procrastination, has the opposite effect. A whole pizza won't make you fat overnight, but over a course of a year, using the formula 0.99 to 365 equals 0, and a graph that looks like this. The best example of this is the movie Forrest Gump. Spoilers from the movie, but the movie follows two characters. Forrest, who's the supposed dumb one, follows very simple rules and behaviors and takes the high road. And Jenny, who is the smart one, the one with the good looks, takes the low road. Forrest goes and does amazing things, while Jenny follows a very different path. And I know you're saying, Dave, these are fictional characters. But I know, and I'm sure you know, at least a couple people that you're just amazed at, that they come off as the stupidest freaking person you've ever met. And yet they follow these simple habits and seem to have a golden ticket in life. And those who have everything, been given everything at birth, good looks, wealth, everything, follow a very different path, follow very bad habits, and seem to mess up life. There are two ways of developing positive habits and shedding bad ones. The first way is to find what level the habit falls in. Look at this graph. The outer ring is goals, the middle ring is process, the inner ring is identity. Identifying your identity is very important. My wife's core identity is she is a great mom. Not a good mom, a great mom. And every action that she takes in life can be seen through that. All the actions she does, her career choices she makes, her actions around her kids. And if you were ever to say, no, you're a good mom, or you're a bad mom, this would happen. So forming new habits can be easy by making it part of your identity. I write because at heart, I'm a writer. I paint because at heart, I am a painter. The reverse can be true. By doing something over and over again, habits over and over again, you can form a new identity. An example of this is the TV series Breaking Bad. Again, spoilers for the series. The series starts out with Walter White, my average high school teacher, chemistry teacher, getting a diagnosis of terminal cancer. He turns to manufacturing meth to make money for his family before his death. He makes enough money right away, but doesn't quit. He doesn't quit because he discovers his second identity, Heisenberg.
Now, say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
Identity forms habits, and habits can also inform your identity. But the good news is you control all of it. All the good habits, all the bad habits, your good identity, your bad identity. The second way we form habits, and the majority of the book, are from these 4 points. We form habits by following these 4 steps: cue or stimulus, craving, response, and reward. Failure in any of these stages fails to become a habit. If you don't have the cue, you never start. No craving, you don't have enough motivation. No response, you have no action. And reward, if it's not satisfying enough, there's no desire to do it in the future. The cue triggers motivation. Motivation motivates response. Reward, which satisfies the craving, follows, and this creates the habit loop. What the author doesn't address, but seems obvious, is that it is much easier to form bad habits than good ones. and employs tactics from bad habits to form good ones. Cues or triggers are extremely powerful. Real estate agents know the smell of bread or brownies when you enter a house gives you a sense of home, putting the client in the mood to buy. For myself, I love football, and no matter how busy I am in life, if I hear these 3 notes, well, it's game over. I have to watch. And the NFL knows this because in every version of their theme song, which changes yearly, the triggers are always there. Triggers are so powerful that during the Vietnam War, 20% of soldiers were addicted to heroin. At the time, heroin was thought to be irreversible and untreatable. The U.S. government studied the soldiers returning home, and of the ones that were addicted, 90% did not continue their addiction. In addiction, people talk about people, places, and things to beat it. If you need to change, you need to change the people you hang out with, the places you go, the things you do. In Vietnam, people were hanging out with soldiers that were users. They were in a war zone where everyone was trying to kill you. They were in a foreign country thousands of miles away. By coming home, it removed automatically all the triggers, the people, the places, the things. You can do the same thing to start a positive habit. If you don't want to do something like running, join a group, join a running group. You'll have people, places, and things built in. Like-minded people who like running, run different places, and train for races. If you don't have a group and you don't have anything like that, if you want to form a habit and have a cue for a habit that hasn't formed, that can be tough. So the author's solution to that is to first take stock of the habits that you already have. Make a list. Then do what he calls habit stacking, pairing an existing habit with a new habit. Once you have one, you can stack the next one. Kind of goes like this. You get up, brush your teeth, have your coffee. These are habits. Then add the new habit you want to do. Write for half an hour. Another habit you might have is read the paper. After that, you add the habit you want to do. Play guitar for half an hour. After a while, the habit will form with the old habit. Step 2 is motivation, anticipation, craving. Make it a track. This step is extremely powerful. Advertisers know this. Here's a commercial that even says this. This anticipation, and anticipation is much more powerful than the actual doing of the event. Waiting for Christmas is much more powerful than Christmas itself. Getting ready for a date is much more powerful than the actual date. Planning for a wedding, the anticipation of a wedding is much better than the actual wedding. So the author pairs this with habit stacking by adding temptation into the formula. So you have a habit that you want to do, that you have, then you add what you want to do in between it, after which you do something that you really are anticipating doing. Step 3 is the actual habit, the actual motion of the habit. And it's hard because in your mind, you may not really want to do it.
All right, enough of this running shit.
I unconsciously put a ton of steps before I actually do it. Before I start running, I have to buy new shoes. I have to solve world peace. I have to do all these things before I can actually run. The author's solution is to do the 2-minute rule. Ask yourself, what can you do about it in 2 minutes? And break it down into the smallest thing you can do. If you're going to do yoga, break out your yoga mat. What is it that you can do that you've been dreading and doing, and you put a ton of steps in between you and what you want to do? Think about it and break it down to the smallest step that you can do and actually do it. Now, step 4 is make it satisfying. Just take a minute to enjoy what you did, that you accomplished. Find some sort of joy in it. And there's this one stretch that I do after I run or walk or ruck for the day. So you've reached creating a new habit. Congratulations. But now what? One good habit doesn't make it so.
Never had one lesson.
You have to have a series of habits to get there. You can't just pick up the guitar and play and expect to be Eric Clapton. It's got to be a series of habits or a system of habits to read music, to break down music, to get feedback,